So I was sitting here before I turned the camera on and really feeling what I wanted to share with you today. And the core message, if you like, that's coming through is you can heal. You can heal. You can. And this has been a really big one for me to get, actually. Some of the patterns that I was dealing with felt so big and dense that actually a big part of my journey was even letting go of the need for things to be any different. But not in a way where I was resigning, in a way where I actually found a lot of freedom. And I was able to see through that part of me that could use the healing to try and get somewhere, instead of recognizing the already existing perfection of this moment and my already existing unbroken nature. And it was actually through that revelation that the real healing began to take place. And while my healing very much continues and I don't see myself to have arrived anywhere, I can now stand before you today and say that real healing and real change, real transformation is possible. And my heart just fills being able to say that to you. And I have been astutely and deeply tracking my own process and really uncovering what makes healing possible. And it is my absolute joy to share this with you. And I do this through the posts that I share. I do this in private session with people, and I'm doing this through a free guide, which I'm currently writing as well. And once that guide is written, I will be structuring courses to share with you and take you through the principles in that guide. And I think what really stands out about my approach actually is that it really supports those who are already on a spiritual path, and addresses many of the tricks and traps that spiritual seekers fall into on the healing journey, especially if you're oriented towards more transcendental approaches of awakening or non-dual approaches of awakening. The part of deep embodied healing can be so easily missed and seen as somehow a distraction or a contradiction to the pure recognition of yourself as that witnessing awareness, as the silent space in which all experience arises in. And yet actually I have found that to be the first and most essential step, the foundation actually, in which embodied healing occurs. So that's the first step, the awakening of non-dual awareness, your capacity to disidentify from your painful experience, your capacity to disidentify from all experience. And the next step, the second pillar, is the awakening of somatic intelligence. So there is just such a huge mind-body split in this day and age, and it's reflected through our culture at large. the way that we have split off from and denied the reality of our own soma, our own body, is reflected in the way that we've done that with the body of the earth. So awakening somatic intelligence is actually the infusion of yourself as awareness into every cell of your body, thus sensitizing the field in which experience takes place, making you more able to detect and locate the places where contraction is still held. And the third step, which might be described as the most fulfilling, and certainly for me this was really missing. My heart was very closed as a result of all the trauma in my system, which was really just a protective mechanism to protect me from feeling that pain and that fear, so much fear. The third step is realizing that you are the container for your experience. And as that container, you have the capacity to transmute and metabolize it. And this happens through the opening of the heart and your ability to be fully present with what's here. Your capacity to deeply empathize with your most tender places. And this is really where the work of transformation happens. It's in this loving space of presence that those scared and painful places can begin to unwind and shift and move and essentially return back to their true nature, which is inseparable from your true nature, thus freeing up the latent energy that was trapped in that contraction. So there's a brief overview of the 3 pillars that I share in Awakened Healing. And I would just love to hear from you if anything here resonates, if anything doesn't, if you have any questions. And if you have nothing really to say about this video, but you just want to share, I would love to hear how your healing journey is going.